Dear student, now we have to start the next topic, that is electric field. So, electric field, first of all, discussing this topic, I want to pay your attention towards the topic that we have already studied in class 11th, that is gravitation chapter. In that we have studied that if a heavy mass is there, then it exerts the gravitational field around it. In the same way, here, if there is a source charge which is present in the space, then it exerts a electric field around it. And these forces, like electric force or the electrostatic force and gravitational force, are the field forces, because you have already studied in your previous classes that there are two types of forces. One is the physical touch force, another is the field forces. So these forces are applied due to the field effect, and these forces attract the other object through a distance. So in this we have to study about the electric field. So its definition is: the electric field intensity due to a source charge at any point is the strength of the electric force exerted on a test charge placed at that point. Like here, there is a source charge plus capital Q, and we have to find the electric field at point P due to this source charge at A. So the electric field will be along the line joining this charge at that point. This will be the direction of the electric field. And if we put a very small test charge on this point, so it will exert an electrostatic force in the direction of the electric field. So the electric field can be defined as the force experienced by a unit positive test charge placed at that point. Or we can say that if F is the force acting on a small test charge at any point in the space having the position vector r, then the electric field intensity at point P is given by EP, that is the electric field, that is equals to electrostatic force divided by that test charge. This is the value of the electric field in terms of test charge, and electric field EP in terms of source charge will be 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q by R square, capital Q by R square, along the direction of R cap unit vector. So we can find out this term by having the electrostatic force. As we know that electrostatic force is equals to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught capital Q small q naught by R square into R cap. This is the electrostatic force between the source charge and the test charge. By putting this value in equation 1, we will get the value of the electric field as EP is equals to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught capital Q by R square into R cap. So this is the value of the electric field in terms of the source charge. And one thing is to be noted that the source charge is very large in comparison to this test charge, because test charge is almost very small or its effect is getting neglected. So the field is created due to this source charge around its space. And the graph of the variation of the electric field due to this point charge is this. This is E versus R, that is the position vector graph. It will be a rectangular hyperbola graph, because electric field is inversely proportional to square of the distance from that point. So at infinity the electric field will be 0, because we know that as the point is very much farther, the electric field effect will be getting slow down, or it is getting less exponentially. So this is the term of the electric field. Now the definition says that a source charge produces electric field in a space around it, and this electric field exert a force on any small test charge placed in it. The SI unit of electric field is Newton per Coulomb, because the formula of the electric field is F by Q, as we have studied. So the SI unit will be Newton per Coulomb. The dimensional formula of electric field will be the dimensional formula of F upon dimensional formula of Q. So it will be a power minus 1, m power 1, l power 1, t power minus 3. Okay, when there is a negative source charge is there, then the electric field direction will be towards that charge, along the line joining towards that charge at the point P. This will be the direction of the electric field when the charge is negative. Okay, there is one thing to be noted, that the test charge Q naught is considered to be very small because its presence should not change the existing electric field due to the source charge capital Q. So you are getting this point of the note, that we are keeping this test charge to be very small because that our electric field should not be getting changed due to the source charge. The next topic, we have to study the electric field due to system of charges, as we have studied in the electrostatic force due to the system of charges. So here also we have to apply the superposition principle. Here we have the three charge Q1, Q2 and Q3. These three charges are the source charge, and we have to find out the electric field at point P. So consider a system of charge Q1, Q2, Q3 having the position vector R1, R2, R3 with respect to origin. The total net electric field at point P, whose position vector is R0 due to the system of charges, is equal to the vector sum of the field due to the individual charges at a point P. So we have to apply the superposition principle. First we will take the effect of Q1 charge, and we have to find the electric field at point P due to Q1 charge, that is E1 in this direction. And second, we have to find the electric field due to Q2 charge, that is in downward direction, that is E2. And third, we have to find the electric field due to the Q3 charge at point P, that is E3. Then the total net charge at point P will be the vector sum of E1 plus E2 plus E3. So by applying the superposition principle, the net electric field at point P will be E1 vector plus E2 vector plus E3 vector. So it will be 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 by R1 naught vector into R1 naught cap vector plus 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q2 R2 naught square into R2 naught unit vector plus 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q3 R3 naught square into R3 naught unit vector. So the net electric field at point P will be 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught summation I equals to 1 to 3 Qi R I naught square, R I naught cap, that is the unit vector, and this can be written as in this way: net electric field at point P, that is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught I equals to 1 to 3 summation Qi upon R naught minus Ri mod का whole cube into R naught vector minus Ri vector, because we know that the unit vector is the equals to the vector divided by its mod value. Now the next topic, we have to start the electric field line, or it is also called as electric line of forces. So what do you mean by electric field line or electric line of forces? The definition tells us that an electric field line is an imaginary straight or curved path along which a unit positive charge is supposed to move when it is present in electric field. So electric field lines or electric line of forces are the imaginary line which are straight or curved, in which a unit positive charge, if it is placed, then it will move along the direction of the electric field. So this is the definition of the electric field lines. Electric field lines are nothing but they are the imaginary lines which give the direction of electric field at that particular point. Okay, now the next topic is electric field lines due to a point charge. So what is the figure of, or what is the drawing of the electric field lines for a point charge? In this, first we will take for positive point charge. So whenever there is a positive point charge, this is the source charge. So for a positive point charge, the electric field lines are radially outward from the point charge. So these are the electric field lines which are coming out from the positive point charge in all the direction. Then for the negative point charge, for negative point charge, the electric field lines are radially inward and going into that charge or terminate into that point charge. So this is the negative point charge, and the electric field line due to this source charge will be going inside this charge from all the direction. These are the electric field lines for the negative point charge. Next topic is the electric field lines for a pair of equal and unlike charges, that is known as dipole. This is the equal and unlike charges placed at some distance, that is plus capital Q and minus capital Q. So the electric field lines will be drawn in such a way that all the field lines will be originating from the positive charge and that will be terminating to the negative charge. In this, electric field lines originate from the positive charge and terminate to the negative charge. These are the electric field lines for a dipole, or we can say that for a pair of equal and unlike charges. This is the drawing for electric field lines when there are two equal and opposite charges placed at a certain distance. Now the next thing is the electric field lines due to a pair of equal and like charges. So when there are two equal and like charges, they are separated by a certain distance, then the electric field lines will be in such a manner. The drawing of the electric field lines will be in such a manner that from each charge the electric field lines will be coming out radially outward, and in the middle of these two charges, the distance in the middle from these two charges will be free of the electric field lines. It means this point or this horizontal line does not contain any electric field lines. In the same way, this vertical line which is the line joining these 2 point charges, also does not contain any field lines. So this is a drawing for the electric field lines for 2 equal and like charges. Now the next topic is properties of the electric field lines or electric line of forces. These are the following basic properties of the electric field lines, and these are very much important. These are generally coming in your examination. And when we will be studying in chapter number 4 about magnetism, and there in chapter number 4 and 5 we will study about magnetic field lines. Then we will also differentiate between the electric field lines and magnetic field lines. There are some similarities and some differences between these 2 field lines. So now we have to study the properties of electric field lines. The first property is electric field lines originate from positive charge and terminate at the negative charge. As I have already shown you in the previous topic that the electric field lines always come out radially from the positive charge and it terminate or go inside the negative charge. This is the first property of electric field lines. The second property is tangent drawn at any point to the electric field lines give the direction of the electric field at that point. It means if this is the electric field lines at the point P, the tangent which is drawn at point P will give the direction of electric field of that particular point. Now the third point is no 2 electric field lines can intersect each other. It means if there are 2 electric field lines are there, then at a point no 2 field lines will be intersecting, because if this happen, then at point of intersection there will be 2 direction of electric field, which is not possible. So whenever there are field lines, so no 2 field lines will intersect each other, because at the point of intersection there will be a 2 direction of the electric field, which is not possible. The next fourth point is electric field lines are closer or crowded to each other where the electric field is stronger, and it is spread out where the electric field is weaker. This point is because we know that the electric field is inversely proportional to 1 by r square. We know that as the distance from the point charge is increasing, the electric field will become weaker. The electric field will become weaker. So as the distance from the point charge will be increasing, the electric field lines are weaker or they are separate out. So this is point telling when the electric field lines are crowded, it means at that point the electric field is very much strong, and where the electric field lines are weaker, they are spread out at a much large distance. So fifth point is electric field lines are always perpendicular to the surface of conductor. So this point I will be explaining you in the next coming chapter, that from where this point is coming. First of all, only you understand that the electric field lines always are perpendicular, making 90-degree angle with respect to the surface of this conductor. It means if this is the surface of the conductor, then electric field lines will be always perpendicular to the surface of conductor. Next point is point number 6. Electric field lines do not pass through conductor, hence interior of the conductor is free of charge and also free from the influence of electric field. It means that the electric field is not contained inside the solid or hollow conductor. And interior of the conductor is free of the charge. Only the charges are present outside the surface of the conductor. So there will be no field or no electric charges inside the conductor. Only the charges are present outside the surface of the conductor. This point is telling. The reason behind this point is also being explained in the next coming chapter of electric potential. The seventh point is the electric field lines do not form any closed continuous loop, because in this drawing we are seeing that there is a positive charge and there is a negative charge. So all the field lines are originating from positive charge and terminating at the negative charge. So by this green color I have made a closed loop, which is not possible by this yellow color field lines, orange color field lines, because every field lines is going in the same direction. There is no closed loop formed in between the field lines, so no closed loop are formed. So this seventh point is saying that no closed loop is formed by the electric field lines. Then the next 8th point is that in a charge free region, electric field lines can take as continuous curve without any break. So understand this point by this diagram. This is a positive charge, this is a negative charge. These are the electric field lines. They are going from positive to negative charge, and this is the region first, this is region second, this is the region third. This region first is containing positive charge. This region third is also containing the negative charge, but this region second is not containing any charge. So region first and third, which contain the charge, so there is a discontinuity at this charge point, or we can say that there is a breakage of the field lines at this charge point. But in region second, the charge which is free of the charge, so the electric field lines are continuous curve without any break. So by this diagram we are getting understand that when the charge is not present at that region, the electric field lines are always a continuous curve without any break. This is the point number 8. Then the last point is electric field lines can pass through an insulator. So electric field lines can pass through the insulator, or we can say that electric field line can be present inside the insulator. That's all.